Hi, this is Toby and today we'll be making a sequoia forest planting. Now before I start, I'd like to apologize for the plants here. I don't really have space for the cacti outside right now, but we still have enough space to get the work done. So if you remember in one of my how to cold stratify seeds videos, I've grown a bunch of sequoia seedlings and this is what they look like now, and I'm going to plan to turn them into a forest. Some of the seedlings were a bit weak, like these two, so I don't know what's gonna happen with those. And the biggest tree I'm going to grow individually as an individual specimen, but the rest we're gonna put into a forest planting. So I'll take this apart and I'll show you the individual trees. So I took the trees out of the pot and weeded it. I'm just going to put them down here and quickly count them. Hope you can see what I'm doing. Let's count how many trees we have. So I have one, two. Now this is the one that was a bit weak. The main root died and it's only got one side shoot, or root I should say. I don't know if this one's gonna make it, but we'll count that. So we have 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. So we have 10 trees now. Ideally you'd want to have an odd number of trees in a forest planting. Now I'm gonna, with these two bigger trees, I want to see which one's better suited for an individual specimen, and both of them have really fine roots. In fact, all of these trees have a relatively fine root system that I didn't expect on such a young seedling. Usually they have one taproot and barely any roots, but this is a really nice root system. So I think I'm going to see which one I'm going to use as an individual specimen. I think this one has to be it. This one has the best root spread out of all the seedlings so far. So I'm going to put that one to the side. Every other tree we're going to put in the planting. So what I kind of want to do with the roots is just prune the taproot back for all of them. So this one has a really obvious taproot, and some of these longer shoots, or roots I should say, we just give it a gentle trim, just like that, nothing else really. Not too worried about the root spread. So I'm going to do that to all the trees, and we're going to plant them. So I kind of have all the trees I'm going to put in the forest there. We're going to start by scooping some soil. Now with the forest you kind of want the tallest tree at the front, so this is obviously the tallest tree that I have so far. I'm going to put that slightly towards the center, so probably here. I'm going to then build the forest from there. So I'm going to just kind of just put that in there. Okay, so I hope you can see what I'm doing. I'm going to see where the next size tree is. No pruning today, definitely not on the tops. These are just 1-year-old seedlings. If I prune the tops, we're going to have nothing left. So these two trees are quite tall. I think we'll put them to either side. Now I do want to comb the roots out a bit. I think I'll take some more root off. I don't think I took enough off. Just a bit more root off. There we go. I'm going to have another one there. I hope you can see what I'm doing. We'll have another one there. I am going to also put some of the old moss that grew in there in here. Not going to be a lot on the landscaping because I don't really have anything. Put a small one here. I know they're tipping over right now, but I will make sure they do stand up. One back there. I think we'll have this one right there. So that's going to be the position of them. And I'm going to finish planting it and show you. So before I show you what the forest looks like, I'm going to put up this little tree. I'm just going to put it into one of these containers. Now ideally you'd want something that's a bit wider, but because this is just a 1-year-old seedling, I just wanted to gain some vigor right now, and next season we're gonna put into a better training pot. So now I'm going to moss up my forest as well and show you what we've done today. So here's the forest. I think it looks really good right now. Now with forest, you don't usually have to wait that long to get something that looks really nice, and I think this is really good. Hopefully the trees do grow upright. I think they will. Don't know how much pruning I'm going to do on it this year. I may just make them a bit more compact. Now the goal is probably to have the planting around that high. I don't want one that's too big. These sequoias, the other plant, the single specimen, I'm going to grow quite large, but this one I only want around that big, and I do want to keep a nice tight triangle on them, just to mimic a real life sequoia forest. Now the individual plant, I don't have a space for it, but it's here. It's looking very healthy. But anyways, we're gonna wait and see what happens with these, and I'll show you an update. So here's an update of the sequoia forest. You can see it's grown really well. The main tree is getting a bit taller than I like, and it's growing way too quickly. So I'm gonna give this a bit of a pruning, because some of the smaller trees, like the weaker ones, they need to catch up. So I'm gonna show you what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna take the leader off. I've got 2 leaders. I will take the main one off. I've got another one here that will take over. See if I can cut that off. There we go. I'm gonna cut stuff near the apex back hard. I'm sure it'll grow buds from this area. I may eventually put this in a larger pot and space the trees out a bit more. But I don't want this to be too big. Again, I just want it to be probably around that tall. I think that's a good height for this planting. Want it to look quite miniature. I don't want it to take up too much space. This is okay. I'm going to just cut the tip off and kind of pinch these back. Not too much. Leaving the bottom branches to grow a bit longer. This one's also getting quite tall, so I am going to pinch it. Again, I'm going to leave more shoots at the bottom. I'm going to pinch this apex a bit, because that is going to grow way too much. So that keeps that tree nice and compact. I just noticed this is blocking the way a bit. So I have just quickly pruned these up. Left the smaller trees, I've cleaned up the larger trees. But other than that, I think this needs to be cut back a bit more. And just a tip on that. But I think other than that, it's looking quite good. So I will show you when the buds start to develop, and we'll see what happens. I'm really happy with how this is progressing. So here's another update of the sequoia forest. I did not expect me to have to prune this again this growing season. They're just growing so vigorously. I thought these were going to be single flush, but I guess not. There's still a bit of weeds in here that I have to clean. But let's get to pruning the trees. I know some of the smaller ones, such as this one, removing some dead foliage there, is not that vigorous, so I will let that grow. But you can see the main trees, they're growing too tall and too sparse. Look at this. It's producing so much growth, so time to prune again. I think I need to take this entire leader off. I'm going to prune it hard on the top because I find these are very vigorous. Look at this. This branch is competing for the leader. I've got this leader here. I'm going to prune it back quite compact. Again, keeping a conical shape, a tight conical shape where possible. These smaller trees, is the very small ones I will keep more foliage on because they are weaker, but stuff like this, that's just too much. See, I pruned this shoot last time, and you can see there's still new shoots coming in, so I know I will probably have to prune this tree again. Pinch back these shoots even more, because they're gonna just take off. I've got I'm doubling up on some branches as well, so I'm just trying to get rid of that. Again, a nice tight triangle is what I want, so I'll quickly prune them up and show you. So you can see I've only kind of left this one untouched because it's very small. All the other trees I pruned back to a very tight triangle shape, like this one here. I don't know if you can see that. That's a very tight triangle. That's how I kind of want to keep them growing up, probably around that tall. So I will keep it like that, and I think next season, well maybe not next season, the season after, I'll space the trees apart, maybe give them a slightly flatter pot as well with more area so they're a bit more spread out. But I can see there's still more buds developing, so I think I might have to prune it again this season. We did take a fair bit of foliage off. So here's a Sequoia forest update. And I think this is going to be the final pruning I'm going to do to it this season. I think I over pruned some of the branches because you can see some of them have died back. But that's okay, now I know the limit is around twice for each branch. Now this pot is a bit small for this forest, I have to admit. When I put it together, the trees feel a bit crowded. That was because I couldn't get any wider pots for the tree this season. So I think next season, if I do manage to get a wider pot, I will repot it into a wider pot. However, if I don't get a wider pot, I think I'll just have to live here for another season until I get a better looking pot that's wider. But anyways, let's do the final pruning of this season. I'm just gonna check the trees because the trees are now setting buds for the next season. So if I pinch it now, I should be able to get very dense buds forming. That's okay. This tree's looking quite nice. I don't know if you can see that. This tree's looking quite nice. The small trees, I'm gonna leave. I want them to gain a bit more vigor. In fact, because I have buds there, I'm gonna take the entire tip off. Because I have buds there. This again, 2 liters. We'll have to choose. I'm just gonna cut this one back, see if it survives. But other than that, not really much I need to do. See if I need to pinch anything on this one. This one's quite compact. Quite like this. There's still a lot of liters, but I think I'll take this one back there. There's a bud over there. Yep, there's 2 buds within, so I'm gonna just pinch that back to 2 buds. Because even though I'm going to separate the trees in the future, I still want them to have quite a narrow profile, so it's always good to keep your buds towards the trunk of the tree. This small tree hasn't grown much, but that's okay. I have lots of good branches that I'll keep. Some more weeds. But other than that, I'm quite happy with how this forest is coming along. I do need to give it a better pot. That's the only issue that I have with this. So if I do get a better pot, even though I just put it together, I think these are young trees. They will be able to survive consecutive repottings. Just doing a final check. That's looking quite nice. So I'll put it back, and if anything happens before trees go fully dormant, I'll show you an update. But yeah. Here's a final update of the Sequoia forest. I could have sworn I made a video showing you the final update a lot earlier, but I can't seem to find it, so here I just made it again. Let's see if I can take this planting out. You can see it's developed quite well for this season. The next growing season is about to start very soon, so I will have to record the next part for the 2023 to 2024 growing season video soon, and I will move it out of this pot because I think it's getting a bit crowded, and I do want a wider pot for this because I think the trees can get quite large. But I'm quite happy with how this forest is developing. For a forest that's only around 1 season old, I'm quite happy with it. But anyways, thanks for watching this video. Please like, comment, subscribe, and if you have any questions, leave them in the comment section below and I will answer them. But anyways, thanks for watching this video, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.